Hello, welcome back to the chaos that is Shiny and Books. Today, obviously, I am showing you my reading journal, if the angle was not already obvious. So let's get into it. I have the same journal that I have used a couple of times now. It's a Scribbles That Matter. My autofocus is going wild. It's Scribbles That Matter. I have used these before, and yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty happy with them. I've got white for 2025, which if you know me, I'm not usually really a white girl. I mean, I didn't mean it like that, but I guess that applies too. I usually like a lot of color, so I think I'm gonna get some stickers for this one. So yeah, because it's not as colorful as normal, I think I'll get some stickers to put on the front, but for now it's just plain. So let's just get into it. Here we have my 2025 title page. Again, if this is your first time on my channel, I am big on lots of colors, lots of decorations, and I'm really happy with how this page turned out. This is my 2024, so I feel like I like that they kind of half match. And then this is the color theme that I've kind of gone with for the beginning of my journal, which I tried to match my nails. I don't know if it's going to focus. There is like pink and red on there. No, it's not. Yeah, there we go. I've got like pink and red. Now it's not going to focus back on this. So yes, pink and red is the theme for this year. I'm sorry if you can hear Keen in the background playing. Next page, we have my bookshelves. I usually do these. They never turn out the way I want because I either make not enough books and then I end up reading a lot that year, or then last year I put heaps of books and it looked terrible in my opinion, and I didn't end up reading enough books to fill it anyway. So this is 100 spaces for 100 books if I read 100, and if I do happen to read more, they just don't make the shelves, or I might have to like glue in something on here that like flaps out or something. I don't really know, because I didn't like it when I crammed in more than 100 books. It just didn't look right, and then I can't fit the titles on here anyway. But yeah, the general idea of these is I'm just going to write all of the books that I read throughout the year. So I have a bookshelf filled with all the books that I read during the year, but I don't know. I did consider not putting it in because I just keep hating how it turns out, but it's here for now, so whatever. Next up, we have same pages that I always have. All right, I've already been interrupted, but I have a spot for my reading goals, which I haven't fully decided on. Last year I had like the goal and then I had a little progress bar. So for example, for like read 10 of whatever genre, and then I had 10 boxes to make a little progress bar, which I think I will do that again. And then this page is the same as I always do. This is a reading tracker. I have enough boxes for the entire year. So enough for the 12 months, and every single day of the month there is a box. I originally got this idea from people who were doing this for like a mood tracker, but I've been doing this this will be like the 4th or 5th year, I think, that I'm doing this tracker. I have a key up here, so if I read 0 pages on that day, I color it this color, 1 to 100 is this color, 101 to 200, and then 200 plus is that color. And then at the end, I end up with a fully colored in one that looks something like this. And yes, I always end up in a big slump with lots of 0 page days, but I really like looking back on it and reflecting. This type of tracker I think is not for everyone. Not everyone probably wants to calculate the number of pages read every single day. I usually just estimate, to be honest. Is this out of focus? Yeah, there we go. But yes, I love this page. It is like my favorite thing to fill in each day. Next up, we move into just books read pages. I did the same thing last year. I really like how simple and easy it was. I know that this can be done in like a spreadsheet digitally, but I like filling things out on paper. So every time I read a book, I fill this in. So I have the number of the year book it is, the title, the rating out of 5, the amount of pages, genre, the year it was published, and then I have little boxes to color in for if it was BIPOC, if it was LGBTQ+, has disability rep, or if it was an Australian book, because I like to read Australian books. I have a box to tick or color in for physical, audio, or ebook, and then this time I've got library, book club, buddy read. I've got some space if I want to write anything else in there, or if I decide down the road I want to track anything else. But yeah, basically I just have a few pages of that exact same thing. Makes it nice and easy that I can just continue on. At the end of each month, I just keep writing them down. And again, yes, I know people probably prefer to do this digitally, but I like to write them down. I probably may not need all of these pages, but I guess it's better to have more. Next up, again, another favorite page for me. This is like a book battle bracket. What is the autofocus doing? So I have 12 boxes here, one for each month. At the end of the month, I will write down my favorite book. So my favorite book of January, my favorite book of February. And then between these two, I decide my favorite, and that goes here, so on and so forth, until I get what should be my favorite book of the year. It's really fun to fill out for me. I love getting to the end of the month and having to decide on my favorite book. Some months I have multiple books that I cannot pick a favorite. And then some months I have the opposite problem, trying to decide which books should deserve the spot because I didn't read a lot of good ones. So it's really interesting to see overall at the end. I'm really excited to start filling this out. Then I have some ARC tracking pages. I'm not going to need this many, but I did this last year and I ended up splitting it up and doing, this one is like digital ARCs from NetGalley, and then this is any books that I get sent from publishers, which is not many, so I'm definitely not going to need this much space, but it's here. So I have space to write the title, the published date of the book, and then I have boxes to tick if I've already read it, and then a box to tick when I've reviewed it, and then one to tick when I have posted about it on socials. Again, I know there's probably spreadsheets for this, but I just like being able to open my journal and see where I'm up to with my ARCs. Next up, we head into book releases. So I don't know if you can tell on this page, I had to stick in a little piece of paper to cover it up. I've freehanded like all these little fonts that I'm doing. So I started the word like here and I got to here and realized I wasn't going to fit it all. So I had to stick a little piece of paper and restart. But yes, here we have book releases. So I have a page for each month. I'm doing it a bit differently this year. Last year I just had like a page like this and I was just sporadically writing them down, but it was so chaotic that I want to have it more organized. And yes, again, I realize I could use a spreadsheet for this, but I like being able to open a book and see. So I'll show you on the next page because I did these bits upside down. So yes, I have a page for every single month of the year. So I have spots for the title, the author, the publisher, when it's going to be published, and then I have little boxes to tick for if I got it on NetGalley, if I ended up getting sent it, if I bought it myself, or if I just ended up reading it or not, just so I can keep track of books coming out. And I also like that I have the publisher column because 2024 was the first year that I started requesting books from publishers, and while I didn't get that many, I guess it is good to know an upcoming book and which publisher I need to contact if I'm going to contact them at all. So I have pages for every single month, which I'm not going to show you because they're all the same. After all of the book release pages, I move into the book club spread. This is the exact same that I had last year. I have 12 months and 12 spots to write down books for people's book clubs so that I don't have to keep going and finding where I heard about what their upcoming picks are. I can just write them down and flip back to it when I need to. And then this next page is the start of the book challenges section of my journal. So I'm super excited about this one. This is the Buzzword Reading Challenge page, which this year Kayla has 2 challenges. If you haven't heard about this, I'm sure you have. Kayla Books and Lola does a Buzzword Reading Challenge each year where there is a word or a set of words for each month and you have to find a book with that word in the title. This year she has a Buzzword Reading Challenge and a cover challenge. So I have to find a word. So for example, January, the word is truth and lies. So I need to find a book that has that in the title and read it, and then I have a spot to stick it in, duh. And then the January cover challenge is a pattern. So I'll find a book with a pattern on the cover and I can print out the book and stick it in once I have read it. And I'm super excited to see this filled out. And then the background is meant to look like, you know how when in cartoons, like the bee trail is like dotted lines? That's what this was meant to be for the background. I don't know if that came across, but yeah, excited about this challenge. The next challenge that I always kind of have in my journal, I always print out a world map. And every time I read a book that is set in a certain country, I can color it in on the map. I'm really bad with geography and I'm trying to get better at that. So instead of just listing out all the countries, I want to be able to find them on the map, color them in, and then the following page is where I can write out the book and what country it was. Just because some of them I'd be able to like draw a line and write the book here, but then some of these countries, there's not enough space. So yeah, I have the map to color in so I can get a visual of how many countries I've read from. And then Kian is playing it with the car in the background. I'm so sorry. And then I have a spot for countries. The next challenge I have is the A to Z, or A to Z, depending on what you call this letter, challenge, where I read a book from every letter of the alphabet. Now, I always have this in my journal. I have I've not completed it this year, and I got close the year before, but maybe 2025 will be the year. But there's just another fun challenge to add in my journal. This one's not very colourful, but this is where I was intending to print out all of my 5-star predictions. I did a video on it. I have 15 5-star predictions, and instead of stars, I've got hearts because hearts are easier to draw, so I can colour in for a rating. I didn't colour in a background because I thought it might be too busy in the end, so I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with this one. I'll stick the covers in and then see what it looks like. But basically, I always forget when I make those 5-star prediction videos. I end up forgetting what the books are, so I need to have them visually displayed somewhere so I can be reminded. Then we have the start of the social tracking pages. This one is 12 months, obviously. In these boxes, I'm just going to write how many followers or subscribers I have in each box. Numbers don't really matter, but it is fun to track, and also sometimes publishers do ask you when you fill out those little forms to receive books. I have noticed they ask how many followers you have, so it will be good for me to write down at the start of each month so I can have somewhere to come back to look. And then this page is just for ideas, because sometimes I'll think of an idea and I don't write it down and then I will instantly forget it. So somewhere to write ideas. And then the rest of these pages, I am doing something different this year because I'm going to try and be more organized with like content and stuff. So I just realized I haven't put all the numbers, but here we have January, and this is the entire month. And it's somewhere so I can write down which days I post videos or I'm planning to post videos, as well as if I'm attending anyone's live shows for book clubs, if anyone is hosting a readathon, if anyone is hosting something where a date is important, I can write it down here. But yeah, this is mainly for social media because I have a separate diary for like appointments and stuff. But this is for strictly social media stuff to hopefully keep me more organized so that I can see a bit of a content plan. I don't know. So I'm not going to show you the rest because they are all exactly the same all the way to December. But yes, I've put them in my journal so that it's all set up at the start of the year, ready to go. Which that is the end of like the beginning section of my journal. Next, we are going straight into the months. So January, I have done like a little title page, which this lava lamp, it was kind of inspired by that new Grady Hendrix book that's coming out. Australia did not get that really, really cute cover with the lava lamp on it. But I don't know, I was feeling inspired by lava lamps. So here we have January, a spot for me to write my TBR. I do know Gabby's doing one of the like Halloween themed readathons. I think it's Winterween. So I can write the prompts down for that and books that fit them, as well as any books I'm personally planning to read, any book clubs that I'm planning on participating in, stuff like that. I've got a spot for them ready to go. And then the next 2 pages that I have is a spot for a book haul, which I do not need this much space because I am not really buying books, but it's here anyway. I will need this much space probably for library books because I'm mostly getting books from the library at the moment. So yeah, I've just got the headings ready to go, and then that's pretty much it. I did leave this one for books read once I'm done, but that's pretty much it for January, and then each month I kind of just do this with a certain theme. But obviously I've not set them up because the months haven't begun yet. So yeah, that's pretty much it for 2025 journal. I hope you enjoyed this. It's out a little later than I wanted it to get out, but you know what, life happens sometimes. Let me know what pages you're including in your journal this year, if you've already set yours up, if you like to use a reading journal. I am so excited to move into a new one. I love just, starting in the beginning of the year in a fresh journal. Everything's ready to go. I obviously love keeping a reading journal. I have been using this like bullet journal style system. I think I first started in 2016. So we're coming on 10 years of using journals and tracking things in journals. I don't do it for life stuff like I did it initially. I now only do it for reading, but I just really like physical things like scrapbooky style. I'm excited to print stuff off, stick stuff in, and get this all filled out. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'm really excited. Oh my god. Okay, Kian's coming near me with a toy octopus now, so I think that is my cue to go. Thank you so much for watching. This should be my last video of the year, I think, so happy new year. And I will see you in probably my favorite books of the year video. Will probably be my first video of 2025. So yay, exciting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then.